Hey, rarely do people live a life full of glamour, a life where it's glasses of champagne. Well, if you two are in another world, private jets, but maybe in our London world, it's modeling and quite modest. We don't have private jets, but we still have a lot of glamour in the modeling world. And that world, people rarely do live. Now, today's guest is a special person. She's been through it all and decided at some point, you know what, I will exit. And that is what she did. Winnie Kalisa is our guest, a former model who's now a curator. Every single thing you see behind me, she's had a touch. She's touched it, created it. She's collaborated with a lot of other people, but hey, she's played a big role in setting this up. We are at Laini Showroom. Thank you for joining us for Evolve Rwanda. Welcome to Evolve Rwanda, and we hope you've subscribed to our channel Evolve TV so that you don't miss out on any episode. Welcome on board. Winnie, it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I've been well.
Good.
Locked inside here, as
tell.
everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your skin is looking not that it's never been that smooth. It's always been smooth and glowing, but with you being locked in here, it's even just gone overboard.
All is good. Lots of eating and drinking lots of water.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We thank God for that. It's always a pleasure to be here. This place is, it gives you this fresh, unique breath that I love so much. You've done a great job here.
Yeah, thank you. That was like the goal from the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go back to before Winnie, the curator, before Winnie, and we will take you out. You'll get to see some of Winnie's work. Besides what you see behind us, there's a lot of plans. She spends her time doing such work. Let's go back to where your childhood, where you come from, the kind of place and where you were raised in. Give us a little bit of your background.
Oh wow, that's like, it's going to take a long time. Do you have a whole day or something?
No, you can compact it, please compress it.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So I was born in Tanzania but raised here. So like as a child, I can't tell you anything about Tanzania. It's just like the stories I hear. But we moved to Rwanda I think I was like 2 years old. And we're a family of 7. I am the last one.
Oh.
And I got all the tallness, like I came out with everything.
I'm telling you. You never had to go through some machine to
No, it was just like that. I think the universe was like, okay, this is the last one. She gets everything.
How about the rest of them? They're not as tall as you.
No, you would be surprised. Yeah.
Even your parents?
Nope. It's just like, I got like the grandmother. I am the bonus child. I think I got it from my father's side. We have some tall people and yeah. What else? Like talking about myself is always really hard. I went to primary school in Nyamirambo, so moving to Rwanda and then moving to Kigali. I did secondary school in Notre Dame de Citeaux and then Lycée de Kigali.
Okay.
Yeah. So those at the time were like the elite schools and it was like exciting times. Yeah.
Yeah. And then were you like in a busy home where children were free to do as they wished, or were your parents the strict type?
So I lost my parents at a young age, I think right after we got here. And so like that you would think you'd have all the freedom in the world, but my siblings were like, nope, that's not happening. So it was like they became the parents and school was a must. Whether you want it or not, it was school, home, nothing else. you have the kids playing around outside. I wanted to play with the kids outside.
You would not be allowed.
Nope. They'll be like,
to
you have
read."
homework, you have to read, you are not going to be dumb, that is not happening. So
Were they sharp themselves?
they were so sharp, even up to now. Like they set the standard so high that like I couldn't afford to just fool around. However much I wanted.
That's strange because a lot of lastborns have it easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at like when people say that, I'm like, I am not that last born. I wish I was.
Nobody would tell automatically that you're a lastborn.
Yeah. Really?
Lastborns are normally like they're pushed through life. They have
Yeah.
You come in when the rest of us, because I'm a firstborn in my family.
Yeah.
So by the time a lastborn comes in, we guys have been bitten by the weather that we want to babysit them and just give them a comfortable life, sort of. So your older siblings were quite unique.
Yeah, they were strict school, and then after you're done with school, you needed to get a job in the office, have a comfortable salary, and then have a family. That's like the typical, random success.
Did you ever get an office job?
Oh my goodness, I tried.
You fell off the train there.
Right after I finished high school, I tried. I was like, it was still in my stages of thinking, well, everybody says modeling is not a job, so maybe I should get something serious. And I got a job working with this new company. I think it was like a telecommunication company. And then 2 months in, I couldn't take it. I was like, I don't want somebody like who waking up every morning to tell me what to do that doesn't align with my beliefs.
Yeah.
So I think it was the crazy person in me. So I decided, well, this is not working for me.
Very interesting. You mentioned modeling there. So at what stage in your life did you think of modeling as a thing?
Oh.
And something that you could actually do? Because besides being born tall,
Yeah.
you might be tall, but then you'll say probably I'll join the army, I will do this, that and the other.
Trust me, that crossed my mind.
Oh. Okay.
I have until 5 or 4 years in, I never thought, modeling can be a thing I would do and make money, and just people would take me serious as a model. I never thought about it. Even when I started, it was just out of curiosity. Somebody told me, well, we think you'd be an amazing model. I was like, oh, come on. Me in heels, nah. There's some things I would never try. And they took me for a try, a few weeks. And the whole time I'm looking at models, I'm like...
And was that the first time you're hearing of modeling? Was that
That
the guy,
was
the
like
first
in
guy
20...
to tell you about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
You
was
haven't
in
read about it?
20... the very first time was in 2010.
Oh.
And imagine in Rwanda, you're just playing volleyball. I was playing for Rwanda Revenue Authority volleyball. I was a professional.
In East Africa, most of the tall women were playing volleyball.
I was like, this is the money I'm going to be making. And I was at Lycée Notre Dame de Citeaux. So it's an all-girls school. And what you're required of is to be good at school, and maybe after class you find something to do that doesn't involve boys or looking there is a word they used to use. I don't think I can use it.
You're a very bad one.
Yeah, but they were amazing. We would be jailed for that.
Okay.
But so he found me playing. We used to do rehearsals at École Belge, and he was like, "You would be amazing. You'd be an amazing model." And he's one of the very first people who started modeling here, if not the only person. And so he took me to rehearsals, and I met Alexia. She's a former model, the most beautiful soul I know. Yeah. And so she was they introduced me to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, you could be my sister." So every time I would go there, I was like, at least I know one nice person, so I'll come back. And so from there, it ended up the very first connection I had with it was because of the money.
Yeah.
and that's a bad
Was it
thing
good money?
when you're looking for a career. But
Yeah, and then
that's
the
like-
first thing that the
Yeah.
thing that actually is keeping you there
is the money. Yeah, that's not a
thing.
good thing. So I was like, if I'm being paid, this is good money to just walk back and forth in hills for
Yeah.
like
Quite
20
easy
minutes.
money,
You
yeah.
pay me money, and it wasn't that much back then. And I was like, yeah, I'll stick around. And from there, opportunities kept on like adding up, and here we are.
Good. So tell me then how you moved out of, because you became a serious model
Yeah.
on the Rwandan scene.
Yeah.
That at some point you crossed the borders.
Yeah.
How did it come to be that somebody spotted you and took you out of the country?
So they at first, like the very first time I left the country, there was this guy, like you have in modeling industry, you have people we call scouts, model scouts, and what they do is just they go everywhere you can think of, villages, refugee camps, anywhere, to just look for
Naturally beautiful.
girls and boys who are like what is needed on the market. And it's always
That's how the
changing.
scout went for footballers.
Exactly. So you'd be sitting here, you're just having coffee with your friends, and someone comes up to you and starts just telling you weird things, and you're like, "What? That is human trafficking." But well, fortunately for me, it was a serious thing, and this person has an agency in Nigeria, and in Nigeria, West Africa, they're more developed when it comes to the industry. So he was like, here's what we want to do, you know, this is what I do. He showed me pictures and explained everything. And the whole time I was waiting, but where is the money? Why don't I hear the money? Like this. But the whole time I've come to realize that every time I was thinking about the money, it wasn't for me. It was like, I want something to show home, you know?
Home, yes.
Because I am not just going to be like, oh, I'm flying to Nigeria,
No,
this is it.
the people at home want to see the money.
They want to see
Something
what are you
chivalric.
gaining from that,
Yes.
right? So he was like, you know, it doesn't work like that. You need to first establish yourself. This is a very competitive industry. So he signed me up for a show in Nigeria, and I get there, it was a whole other world. I was just like, so imagine
You
you're
have never seen it here.
never. Imagine the whole thing, like from the beginning, it was a fast experience. Like getting on the plane, I was like, oh, this is where I die.
Yeah.
And
Oh gosh.
and you get there, you have, in the fashion industry, it's not to sound mean, but people, they have their own character. They're just like so full of life, and they're just like, everybody's their own person. So it was just like overwhelming for me. A person just came from Rwanda where everybody is nice. They're just like, they tell you, oh, you're beautiful, you're so nice, you're this and that. And you get to a place where nobody
Nobody's
cares about
noticing
you.
that.
They're just like,
Maybe even if they notice, they won't say it.
they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And they love their own people. So it's like you're like an outsider. And at a young age, that was just like,
Yeah, that can affect you.
yeah. So, but from there, it toughens you up. Like when you go through things like those, it teaches you how to learn with issues. Like in the modeling industry, people would criticize you for who you are, like the physical appearance. And that can lead you to like a hole you would never come out of.
What do you mean by the physical appearance? Because first I'm imagining the reason they have you there as a model is
Is
because
the-
physically
right?
you're 100%. So what else would they find as a fault on you?
They would say, because people's like someone's vision of beauty is always different. Like it varies from person to person. So you would have designers come and be like, I want you. I had short hair at that time, and they'd be like, this is exactly what we're looking for. And you have another person coming, oh no, you're too dark. No, you're too dark for my clothes. You go there, and then you wonder, like, what?
Yeah.
And I had issues with like my appearance. You would never understand until I actually, like, as you
the
go.
complexion.
Exactly.
It was mainly
If
that.
it's not the complexion, it's the height. It's how big your feet are. It's like how your smile is. It's like always something.
So then, let me tell you, Winnie, when we watch fashion magazines, when anytime we hear of modeling, we see this very tall, beautiful woman, and in my opinion, you're that woman.
Oh, thank
Exactly, like you're that woman. if you're in my village, that's exactly what I'll tell you. You know, when you're going to be a model, so we're thinking your height, like every box will tick.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone will check.
Yeah.
So how come then they'll have a problem with that? Like, I wouldn't imagine the height would feature anywhere.
It's a wild
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
You get there from the very beginning. Fashion industry was like introduced as something from the Western world,
Yeah.
and their beauty standards, like they've always for a long time been the same. So like introducing a black woman there who is like versatile, we can look like anything we want. And we would just look at Naomi Campbell. She would have a long hair, she would be awesome. She would have an afro, she would be gorgeous. No hair, amazing.
Yep.
So like, you get there and you have people who, most of the directors, the casting people, everybody there is like, their standards is based on what the Western is doing. And the big cities, Paris, Milan, New York, and London.
Yes.
And Tokyo. Those are the cities that dominates the industry. Whatever is happening there is what is important
That is what
here.
sets the global standard.
But now it's awesome to see people here in Africa, like we are bringing in our own touch.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing thing to
for
see,
more people.
right? So, but back then, if you had short hair, you were good for runway and like the editorial. I have my friends who are always asking me, why do you always take the pictures, like the ugly ones? Like, we want to see you looking glamorous and everything. I'm like, I don't know.
And were there ugly pictures that you were taking?
So what people call ugly, this is the thing. Like, if you have like the blue eyeliner and you have like these like crazy hair color and everything.
That's ugly.
They'll be like, that's ugly. But also
So
crazy.
people pick for such photo shoots and others for the whole glamorous, beautiful photo
Yeah,
shoots.
but also it's like, people couldn't understand the fact that I would be dressed up amazingly and look as beautiful as what they call beautiful, which is also like subjective. It's, what do you call beautiful?
There's another thing that people keep talking about, quite a stereotype. They will say models do not just serve as models, that when you get there, you serve more than one purpose. Besides modeling, you're also at the beck and call of a certain top guy.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever find yourself in a position where you're paid as an escort? Somebody with a
the
private
very
jet is calling
famous
on you.
question that everybody asks.
I've always died to ask that question.
Well, so as a woman, in every industry you're in, you're always going to have people who want to like get more than what you came for. You know, what you bargained for. That's what we call it. And of course, models, even in Rwanda, like, let's start small here. If you say you're a model, you're dressing up and just, for what? For show? To just walk and back and forth, and then that's it, you're paid for that? Automatically, you're a prostitute. And so people have a weird perception of what that is. And then you have most of the girls, and also even now, the men who are in modeling, they would be so desperate to do anything. And that's where those things come from. You're like, if a photographer is there, they're like, oh, this is an opportunity. I have a huge platform. This is what I'm going to do for you. This and this, exposure, whatever.
Yeah.
And
story of exposure.
That's I came to hate that word for nothing.
Yeah.
And so people would do
used quite
anything.
a lot.
Yeah. So you would lose your core values just to gain, like, to do something, to like be exposed as you want.
Did you ever have that experience?
Or
did you ever come out of one?
I have had people approach me with that same thinking because it has worked on other models, and they're like, yeah, so we have this private party, you know, it's this and this, and you know, there are big guys there. It's like, you know, the MDs of this and this, there is this and this, and if you show up, they want like nice looking girls and everything to just, you know, socialize. And if you think about it, it's like, why do they have to be nice-looking girls? Like,
yes.
if it's just socializing
And the guy that is calling you, are those the ones we call the pimp? Because
Exactly.
there's definitely a guy who's getting money from these big guys to
And
invite you, the pretty looking girls.
Right. And you would have even like, I've had some of my friends tell me that their scouts, like their agents, tried to like pimp them out. And so it's just, you have to have that maturity
You really
to,
have to be strong.
because it's people you don't want to insult by any means. If that's your career, you want to like be friends with everybody, but also establish boundaries. Like, this is what I do, and if you can't do this. And funny enough, you do establish them, you would be respected like you wouldn't imagine.
For real.
For real. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
The moment I say this, I don't do this. Like, when I left here, my sisters were like, there's no way you're going to wear bikinis and just like flaunt your things out there. That's not how we do it. You are a Kalisa, you have to be this and this. You will not do this to us.
You will not compromise.
So I had a list of things I was like okay to do and things
And
I wasn't
some things
okay.
Yep.
And when I got there, they were paying money. It's like awesome. And if you do this campaign, it's exposure, as they say. Another company will see you, you do this. But I was like, no, I won't. But here's the thing. You need to have a proper explanation, because as I grew up in the modeling industry, I realized I am actually refusing to do this for my sisters. And as an 18 or 16 something person, that a tangible explanation. But if you're in your mid-20s,
then you're doing this for you.
You need to have, like, do something for you. Then I started like establishing my own boundaries. Like, these parties, if it's not something I really feel like I should go to, no. If this money is not up to my standard or something is not worth it,
You would say no to it.
it's not worth my time, because this is my art. This is like my career. If I don't value it, then how do I expect someone back home to be like, she's a model, she's a respected person? Like, if I don't start establishing the standard, then nobody else is going to do.
So a lot of models that left Africa and went out there either ended up marrying their agents or some people around them. There are a lot of African models married to Frenchmen, Italianos.
I need to get me one of those.
Why are you here with me?
That's a good question. I wonder why. I think you were lying when you said I was beautiful and everything. Now I am questioning it.
And your beauty, you took the beauty to Italy and brought it back.
They just brought it back. They're like, no.
No, you must be a very hard girl. But no, on a serious note, wait, did you ever relate with someone?
Like, in the industry, it's like word travels.
Yeah.
And people are just like close to each other and this and this. So it was a lot of drama for me. And I was like, I need to do this. This is a job. And also I came to realize that maybe it's not something I'm going to do when I'm 30, not when I'm 40. So
You were not planning to remain in that.
So I needed to like really focus as much as I wanted to just like, you know, say I tried this, it has worked, and now I need to move on to something that really connects with who I am.
Okay, before we get to what you moved on to, one other curiosity that I have and a lot of people have. So do they tell you in your world not to eat? Like the same, if you gain even 1 kg.
You really came loaded. I'm like, what?
Yes. I'll never have another chance. You never know. So do they tell you you could? Because when I wake up, Winnie, there are times I will fill my stomach with 5 eggs, 7 slices of bread. I'll take porridge. Like, I eat like there's no tomorrow. So for a model, what do they tell you guys? Like, take the tiniest glass of water.
You would kill yourself. Like, there are people who go like to the very extreme end of things, and you would find models just like starving themselves because they've seen, this model is like this tiny and she got the cover of like Vogue magazine, and now I need to look like that. This is what's trending. But
this is very tough standards.
They don't know that, you know, most models, like the very expensive one, like these famous models we know, the legends, like the Naomi's, like all of these models. They have.
Is she one of them?
She is a legend. That one.
People talk about being anorexic, but the most unfortunate thing is that they talk about it when they have aged or retired
Yeah.
from modeling. What stopped you? Do you think what stopped you people
Yeah.
from addressing these things when you're active?
So like as any other industry, we like they all have their darkest secrets, and to me that's one of them, because you have the pressure of looking a certain way and you're like trying, that's like embedded in your head that that's how it should be, and for some reason you suffer, but in your head it's like, this is what I have to do, like this is the struggle, everybody says they've struggled,
This is the price to pay.
this is the price to pay. And then when you're out of it, you realize that was not worth it, right? It's like that was more than what I was supposed to give. Like it's less than what I gained. And for a few years now, I think they've started, like everybody has started to like start talk about it, even the active ones,
talked about,
because of like incidents that happened like back, people,
but all they collapse, all
models
those on the
passing
runway.
out,
Yeah.
you know, that is looking unhealthy, just skin and bones, and that's it.
Yes. Others,
And
their
now-
feet peeling off because of the heels.
Exactly. And you also have brands that are now like, they are embracing every body type.
Yeah.
Like Fenty and all of these other big brands, they get plus size models. You
that
have,
has really helped.
yeah, you have famous plus size models, and it's like, oh, I can be healthy and still be able to be a model. Like a model is no longer the skinny looking,
Sick looking,
sick
yeah.
looking beauty standard that we
Sure.
know. So it's now like changing, and it's for the better, I think.
Do you feel like you miss it?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I miss it? I think I do. I do. Like, I don't miss it to an extent where I feel like I want to go back. But I miss it to a point where I'm like, I can do a show every once in a while. You know, I can do a photo shoot if you call me, because it's it was good times, and it's still
Okay.
it's a passion of mine. It's
Yeah.
just
You left quite early, if you ask me. You retired.
I could have
early.
done more.
Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, you've got to go back. We'll send you back there so that you get as an Italiano.
Oh, I have. I told you, if you know one, just you know, you have my.
Winnie, let's get to the present day Winnie, who is a creator of those things.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, between the runway and trying to be the very disciplined last born, pleasing her older siblings, where did you find this? Like, where did the magic come from? The inspiration to curate?
So, like, being exposed, I always wonder, like, nobody in my family does this. So I wouldn't say that it's from a family relative.
No.
But I think being exposed to art at a younger age, like seeing designers, traveling places and seeing the interiors, it's like everybody, I would find myself asking, oh, how is this made? Oh, my, this is so nice. You could do this and this. In my head, I'm like, oh, imagine if it was like this, it was like that. And then when I moved out and started living by myself, I think I told you a while back.
You told me about that,
Yeah. So I was like, I want my place to feel, you know, you come in and you're like, oh, this is so cool.
Yes.
This is so
And that's the
nice.
feeling everyone gets when they get here for the first time.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. So I was like, I don't want a glaring bulb at me. Like, if I am in
No.
my room, I want just, you know, the cozy romantic lights. That's how they call them. But I don't want to buy something from a Chinese store here.
If I can make it at home.
Nothing against them, but like, if I can make it, like, and make it unique, if I go to my friend, I won't see it there. It's just like something that has me in it, my identity. Then why not? So I started playing around with lights. That's like the first thing I made. And
Did you go to school? Like,
oh no,
when you
it's
say
a
started
lot of
playing around with it-
YouTube and Pinterest and
Oh my goodness.
yeah. I'm like, let's see what everybody else is doing out here. Let's see, if it's lights, let's see what's there and how can I spin it and make it my own. And so I started with like the cheapest things I could find, because if you're learning, you don't want to go overboard.
Right.
So I started playing with yarn. I could buy yarn for like 1,000 francs in town. So I was like, yeah, let me try this. And then it turned out to be amazing. And then my friends would come to my house and be like, that's a nice, where did you get it from? Like, at first, it was so embarrassing for me to say that I made it.
Because you weren't sure they would like it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, how do I say that? Especially like the people I knew are like the fancy people from the fashion industry. They're just like used to finer things in life. So I'm like, and then I told this one lady, because I didn't know her, I was like, if she knows that it's me, it's okay.
It's okay. This one I won't hide.
Right. Yeah, she's French, and she was visiting with her husband, and then they're like, oh my God, that's an awesome light. Where can we get it? We want to take a few back home for our house. Like, actually, I made this. So how many do you want? And they're like, oh, tell us how much is it? I'm like, oh, I need to think again.
Exactly.
I don't know the price. How do you calculate price for this? I'm used to just showing up to things and being paid. And so it's like, oh, finally the finance I did in school is going to come in handy, huh?
Yeah.
So I just I sold a few to them and then moved on to baskets. Everybody wanted baskets here. And I always thought storage is a big thing to me. Huge thing. I don't want to see things hanging everywhere.
And, scattered.
I'm like,
all over.
if it's not a decor piece, we need to put it away.
Wow.
Like, nobody needs to know your
I
business.
am never inviting you to my house.
You're going to invite me, because that's what I do.
not invite you.
I see people's messes and I just...
Because you won't be my
we work
friend
together.
anymore. God, my house is disorganized.
No. So everybody was buying baskets. And we have beautiful basket designs here.
Yeah.
So but how do, my generation, who would I see go buying baskets in Kimirongo markets? They consider it yeah, it's a basket, it's an awesome thing. If a foreigner friend of mine comes here,
I'll give them. Yeah. Maybe it would make a good souvenir for them.
Right?
But not in my house.
Exactly. So I wanted to make something that everyone is going to be like, I want that. It's still a basket. It's our heritage, but it's also up to date. It's modern enough for me.
Yeah.
So I started making baskets. I think today you've seen them.
I've seen your baskets.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things in this house. I am humbled. At times I feel like I am the most uncreative human being.
You are doing amazing in your own way.
Being in your presence, Winnie, humbles me, because even the dress you're wearing, you will tell me you made it for yourself.
Okay, I won't say anything. I won't say anything.
Yeah, you make me feel like I
You are
the most useless human being. But
you are amazing.
yes, I'm telling you. But this is amazing. So then you started painting as well.
And then painting, and then now the thing I'm so into is I had a trip. I think last time I told you that I was working with artisans across the region.
Yes.
And
You mentioned it.
so I had a trip to Tanzania because I wanted to I don't want to be the only person making things. I want if you take something out of here, it has to have a story, something that you're going to relate to. It's not just a piece.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have just a variety of origins and just, you have a home that is well traveled, even if you're not. You can find them here.
Wow. I love that. A home that is well traveled.
Right?
Even if you've never left your village.
I've never been to Dar es Salaam, but I have something from
Salaam.
And so I made designs like pillow designs, and these things are from Zanzibar, I think, like the metal pieces. So I go on my iPad, just put together something, draw something, and then go there, spend a few days with artisans, and then they make something, and then I bring it back here.
Amazing.
And that way, it's like we both get to express how we feel through what we do.
And this?
That's this also is from Zanzibar. It's like a coconut piece, and so it's a candle holder, and
Look at that.
So from the very beginning, I was like, I can do this, but I don't want this form of expression, like the channel, the platform that now I have, I don't want it to be just for myself. I want it to be like a place where everybody can express themselves.
Yes, and everybody can learn something.
So like I have awesome women that I work with who are
Yes,
just like.
I was going to ask if you do this on your own. You
So
have a group of people.
most of the things here I do make on my own, but I have like people I collaborate on a few things with, and I plan on adding more people. You know, as we grow.
I like that.
As we grow and evolve.
Yes, as we evolve.
And just make this like a happy place where people just express themselves. We are women, and if we're speaking, culturally speaking, we're always expected to be, you know, the lights in every place where we are. We're just like, if you're in a house, it's nice looking,
make it,
beautiful.
make it habitable.
Exactly, you make it a home. And
thank you. Yeah.
So I want this to be not only for women, just everybody. Like whoever you are, you're here, you see that light and you're inspired to do something else. Come on, let's do this.
So if you're interested in getting one of Winnie's pieces, and not just that, she's told you she collaborates with people. So there could be a service you have that you want to give to her, and there's something you want from her. You could also be interested in learning. As you had, she does a lot of stuff. So we will put her contact just below so that you're able to reach her and get to learn, visit her, and come to her happy place. As you had, she wants that kind of place where we all come and it's so at home, peaceful and green. You'll see plants everywhere. Unfortunately, we can't take you to her bedroom, but there are plants everywhere.
Too many people to fit in.
Yes. Oh boy, we're almost concluding, Winnie. I wonder, what do you see as the future of this? Because I know that Made in Rwanda is big, but people also consider Made in Rwanda too expensive, unreachable. The lot of you do these things, but very many Rwandans, and I see them, I speak to them, I see them online, tend to feel like you alienate them. You guys that do Made in Rwanda stuff, you don't target us. Yeah. So do you see us getting to a place where indeed you will make these things and not for the tourists that are coming, but do you see it ever being affordable for all of us? Because indeed we want to decorate our places. And affordably.
That's a very important part. It has to be affordable. You don't have to rob a bank. So I think we are trying, like even with other people that I speak with, like either designers, fashion designers, or like any other artist here, they will tell you the only thing that makes these things expensive is, yes, it's made in Rwanda, but the raw materials, like most of the basic things we require, they're not made in Rwanda. So that kind of adds up to the prices. But with the efforts that I'm seeing the government is putting in, they're trying to subsidize everything. If you just have a small business, you're making something, they will do the best to like try and help you. So in a few years, I think people are going to, it will be at a comfortable place.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that now it's not affordable. It is. It just, I think it depends on where you go.
I guess so.
And what their target market is.
Yes, we might want to find the right places to go to. What did you say has been your greatest challenge as an entrepreneur? Coming from that place where you were making easy money, the kind of money you make just by smiling, and then you now have to wake up, put in the hours, and a lot of energy as well. As an entrepreneur, what has been the hardest challenge for you?
Here's the thing, like modeling, it wasn't like blah, all glamorous and everything. It was stressful to the mind, and early hours and late nights, but I knew that if I get days off, they would be completely for me. Like enjoy time with my friends, I could go out and do whatever I want. But now here it's full time, like 24/7 I am on, and I can't even take a day off even if I wanted to, because it's like I need to do this. Otherwise, I would feel inadequate. I'd be like, yeah, I didn't. If you're doing business, there is no 70%, there is no 50. You need to go in 150%.
Correct.
Because when you fail, then you would know when to move on to something else. Otherwise, you'd be like, oh, but if I did wake up on Sundays and do this, maybe I could have, stayed in business. So the biggest challenge is Rwanda as a society, we're still trying to this is not something we're so into necessarily. Like buying a pillow for 30 something for your house, that is a lot of money to be wasting on a pillow.
Is it coming with sleep?
Exactly. So
And breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
So finding my, space in the market, that has been the most challenging thing. And I think slowly it's getting there. But it just requires patience.
Wow.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
And I am so inspired, I must say that. Indeed, I will come here, I'll be calmed because I want to learn. But let's speak to that person who, a young man, young woman who's just started off on entrepreneurship. From your experience, what advice would you give them? The thing that will fuel them every morning to just go out and succeed. What would be that advice that you would offer?
I would say, find something you're passionate about, like something you love. Because if you're always saying, oh, I love this, but I can't do it, I need to first do this and this. If you're doing something you don't love, you'll never be...
You'll never succeed, you won't excel.
You'll never succeed, you won't find that drive in you to wake up and just be like, this is what I want to do. If it's your dream job, you think this is exactly, like if you can envision yourself in 10 years still doing that same thing and being happy, then that's what you need to do. Because as long as you love that thing, you will always wake up happy to do it.
Thank you. Thank you, Winnie.
You're welcome.
I'll take that. And we've been told before, it should not feel like a job. It should never, ever feel like a burden. And as Winnie has said, if you see yourself doing it 10 years from now and doing it happily, then put all your energy there. That's it. Thank you so much for having joined us. This afternoon, we're having a conversation with Winnie Kalisa, former model and entrepreneur, a curator. You've seen some of the images of the things that she has created, and we encourage you to contact her in case you want to work with her, but also in case you just want to learn. And like many other people that we have talked to on the show, this is your responsibility. You have a job, you have a passion, grow it, work at it, because that is what will make you happy. Ensure that it makes you happy. Let it never ever feel like a burden. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Our hashtag is Evolve Rwanda. If you have a comment or suggestion, kindly reach out. We're also please subscribe. We like the fact that you're watching, but we'd love it even more if you'd subscribe so that you don't miss out on any conversation. And you who wants to be a model, yeah, she did it. Went in, conquered, and came out, and quite early. She ran away from the drama. But you never know, yours might not be as dramatic as hers. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jackie. God bless you.